Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 3. I just finished watching it, so I want to give you my quick review of the episode. Warning, I'm going to be going into spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, make sure you drop a like and follow, but then come back later. So right off the bat, because I know everybody's going to be talking about how this episode's a filler, no, I thought this episode was incredible. I thought Chapter 19, The Convert, did a good job of picking up that New Republic and Imperial remnant plot back up, while also not deterring from Bo-Katan and Din's journey. Let's quickly recap the episode. This episode picks up directly after the events of the last episode. Having just seen the Mythosaur, Bo-Katan like in awe, looking at the living waters. It looks like she's reevaluating her beliefs after seeing the Mythosaur and might be on her way to being more religious and a part of the Creed. From there, they go back to Bo-Katan's Fortress of Solitude and Sulking, apparently, to go recover Din Zan 1. And they are intercepted by TIE fighters, and we get a pretty dope introduction to this episode. This is the entire cold open. This is really where the budget was spent on this part of the episode, because this was incredible and amazing to watch. Honestly, I felt like I was there now. Some of the shots were just chef's kiss. Din eventually gets into his N1 and helps out in the fight. He pulls off this sick ass move where he goes up, turns the thrusters off, and as he comes down, he fires back at a TIE fighter. It was the coolest thing I've seen in a while. But during this battle, they're overwhelmed, and the TIE fighters get reinforcements, and they blow up Bo-Katan's Fortress of Solitude and Sulking. Bo-Katan and Din are forced to retreat as Din tells Bo-Katan they need to jump somewhere where no one else knows. And from there, we cut to our main plot of this episode. We return to Coruscant, and I swear to God, I felt like I was back in the prequels. We return to the Opera House from Revenge of the Sith. Unfortunately, nobody talks about the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Instead, we witness a conference call with our old pal Dr. Pershing, was a scientist under Moff Gideon, specifically doing research on cloning, as he's talking about the amnesty program, which is basically like rehabilitating people who were part of the Empire into the New Republic. And we see this through the eyes of Caddy O'Brien's Imperial officer, who's watching with some clear intent on this guy. And really, this entire episode was very similar to Andor in humanizing the quote-unquote working class of the Star Wars universe. From there, we meet another group of people who are part of the amnesty program. Caddy O'Brien's Imperial officer is also there. We then spend some time with Dr. Pershing and how he goes about his day-to-day life. He feels he can't truly do his work without coloring outside the lines of what the New Republic deems as appropriate. Caddy O'Brien's Imperial officer and Dr. Pershing develop a rapport, and she convinces him to continue his research under Moff Gideon by breaking into an abandoned Imperial Star Destroyer. He finds everything he needs, and then he's double-crossed by Caddy O'Brien's Imperial officer. Of course, she looked shady from the jump, and I have a feeling this is how Palpatine somehow returned. Given the cloning subplot, she steals his research, and Dr. Pershing is arrested. It's there that he's taken under the New Republic to rehabilitate his mind again by using a mind flayer. Caddy O'Brien's Imperial officer is there, and she turns that mind flayer up, and that dude's brains are fried. He's probably a goner. But this episode is bookend with us finding out where Din and Bo-Katan are going as they seek shelter with the tribe. They question if Din has actually redeemed himself, which he provides the proof, and Bo-Katan as the witness. He takes the proof to the armorer, and she confirms that he is now a Mandalorian once again, which she also asks Bo-Katan, since she retrieved Din from the living waters, she technically is also reborn a Mandalorian, as long as she has not taken off her helmet since that moment, which she confirms, and welcomed into the tribe as Mandalorians. We don't get to see Bo-Katan's face under the helmet, but you can tell, now that she's been accepted back into the tribe, I feel like she's plotting to go back and try to get the Mythosaur, especially since she didn't tell Din the Mythosaur was down there, and he didn't see it. But is she going to remain a Mandalorian, or is she going to go back to her old ways? That is what we're going to have to figure out, but I loved this episode thoroughly. It felt very Andor, and I really appreciated it for that. And this was also one of the longest episodes I think I've seen of The Mandalorian, so 2 thumbs up there. Let me know what you thought about the episode down in the comments below. And as always, like and follow for more.